Hello everyone, Benjamin Cowenberg, consciousZine.net. Today's video, we're going to have to nip this in the bud because I can see a lot of people are hypnotized still. I see some people coming out of it because he's getting less likes, so some of you I think have started to realize some of the same things I have about Enofe. But I'm going to make it very obvious today because he's really pissing me off now, telling me he wants to knock my head off and being violent towards me in the comments. Well, you just earned yourself a nitpicking. I'm going to pick the nits out of your hair now. So, we're going to go over this video, Nature and Occult Baphomet. Look, he's still not done worshipping Baphomet. Let's go straight to the end of this video. The Occult and Baphomet. Well, what did we learn over the last decade about every single Illuminati video, every single elite uncovering video, and so on? All those types of videos, we learnt that. All the Yale Skull and Bones, the Illuminati, the Masons, etc., they all worship Baphomet. Yeah, and stuff like that. If not exactly Baphomet, it's like, demons and stuff, yeah? I mean, I don't have to go into this. You can use what's called the internet to find out. Yeah, you know the internet, that little thing? Yeah. That's the overmind of the planet manifesting. Anyway, the mass neuronet. So if you don't know, have a look. And I can't help but remember the video by Alex Jones, who just because he comes from a Masonic family doesn't make him a Mason, by the way. And that's what we're going to go over in Blood Over Intent. I can't help but remember his video where he goes to, Forgotten Again. You know the video where he sneaks into that little elite club and they're all worshipping like Baphomet, wasn't it? Oh no, it was the Owl God. Sorry. But as you can see, there's a reiteration of what I'm saying. How they always like worship stuff like that. Sorry, that was a bad reference, but I'm sure a lot of you know what I'm talking about because you've seen the videos yourself because they got millions of views by now. This was all last decade stuff, so really I shouldn't have to go over it. But yeah, just to re-mention Alex Jones there, in light of what I was going to talk about here, that I was going to say Blood Over Intent, is where you choose, your family and your neurotic nuclear family model over your humanity family, basically, and blood and physical flesh over undercurrent energetics of the planet. Now, I said before Alex Jones's parents, he admits in a video, were like Masonic, but that doesn't mean he is, because he's intent over blood. Obviously, he's got something called info wars. Information wars, whether he says everything correctly and everything he brings up is, full legit or not. You've just got to realize what he's started, even if he was trying to be, an undercover Mason. What he's started is intent over blood, yeah? Because he's made us all wake up a lot about a lot of things, you have to admit, over the last decade, so you can't take that away from him. I'm not an avid follower of him or anything, just using him as an example, because it's a good example because he even says in one video that his parents are like Masonic, so... Anyway, that's the whole thing with Blood Over Intent. Like family, family over intention to do good things for your larger family, humanity. Like how Faye goes to work for his daddy and stuff instead of what I'm doing. I could go do that, yeah. I could go work for my family and try and do that sort of thing. But that's more blood related. And man, there's so many things I could say about that. But I've chosen to, for the last decade, intentfully work for you all, humanity, for free. People donate, yeah, but it's like chumps change compared to if I went and worked a job, and I still do it, so it's not much you can say. And someone said in the comments the other day about me about my soul, and that's what I said back. I said, oh yeah, so where's your work for humanity for chump chase for the last decade? So you can't come at me like that anyway. Anyway, so blood over intent, you know, it's basically, well, have you, what I just explained, have you ever noticed that you don't necessarily have the same blood as your parents? Yeah, it's not necessarily the same blood, and you can, you know, I'm seeing more and more stories about blood types changing during people's lives. So I don't want to get deep into this, but the way I put it is, I summarize it like choosing the neurotic nuclear family model over humanity, yeah, and choosing your, you know, your family and stuff. Like, say you were a Rothschild, choosing your Rothschild over, say, coming out and standing with humanity. That would be a good example, right? So that's that part. But anyway, I want to get more into the inner face stuff because he says some really stupid stuff in his video. And like I said in the last video of this, he never even explains anything properly. He just mentions some stuff, and it's not like he tells you anything. And why would you still go on about Baphomet? Like, he's just still not coming to consciousness. And yeah, you're seeing his demonic derangement, you know, when he gets angry, like the Jin Horn Bull energy would. How obvious it is. It's Jin Horn Bull energy. And what's Baphomet look like? He looks like a Jin Horn Bull to me. Have you seen the picture? Anyway, I mean, I don't understand why this stuff is not so obvious. So we're going to go through his video so you can have less of a cognitive dissonance. Because I've noticed when you say things twice and repeat things twice, it actually can get past someone's dissonance. And a lot of you are just following him. And following is blind. Anyway. A lot of people are still liking the video even though what he says is ridiculous. So I'm going to have to nitpick. That's what it's come down to. Nitpicking because you can't see for yourself. Some of you. I'm not saying all of you. Anyway, his demonic derangement's really obvious how he got angry at me just for commenting under this video, this Nature and Occult Baphomet video of his, this one. I just commented under the video, yes, everyone's on the different paths, like you've seen in the video 1 of this, and I don't have to re-explain it because watch video 1 of this. I explained it all already. And he was violent in his comments towards me when I wasn't violent in my initial comment to him at all. So that's this demonic energy coming through him. Maybe you guys need to study demons more. No, I'm a shaman. I know well when I'm seeing demonic energies. Plus, I had a synchronicity about it. Now, that left side of the brain channel, I respect that guy, right? Because he's not just a demon. And he's not always like taking away and ambiguating and just fully bucking what everyone else is saying like Eno. Bucking like a bull, huh? I mean, how many things I could say, we're just going to have to go over this and over this until you see it, I think. Because I've seen it straight away, and then this stuff's all obvious to me, but it seems not to be obvious to some people, so we're just going to have to nitpick and recircle over it and over it and over again until you get it. So, if that's the world you want to create by empowering people like this guy, go ahead, but it's going to backfire on you, and it's not going to end well for you. Anyway, so there's 2 things kind of explained. You know, demonic derangement, definitely. When I've not been violent in my comment, I said 1 ion, an ion, negatively charged anion, when you ground, stand on Earth, aligns 1 million water molecules. And look at the rest of my comment in video 1 of this, Enofe Exposed 1, I'll call it. You can see that I was just saying and putting in, grounding is actually, pretty good, and I want to say at this point, it's almost necessary, yeah, like I really could not see myself here still, and as happy as I am and so forth, and as enlightened or enter of enlightenment into my mental entering of light, if I wasn't grounding. So I want to say it's pretty, not only basic, and it's part of the fall. Yeah, the fall was away from nature. and it's pretty I said it just before, necessary at this time, because we're going into 5G kill grid and stuff. This is all positronic charge, so you want a negative charge and get that stuff off you. If you don't understand grounding, look into it. Why don't you look at all of David Wolf's videos? He's the one that explains it really well, I think, and he shows you demonstrations. I don't have the technology to show you. So anyway, you can just try it for yourself and feel it for yourself, because it's instant. You touch Earth and the negative ions instantly start getting the positive charged gases out of you and so on. So anyway, he has a lot of demonic derangement I've seen, and anyway, he's always unexplanation. It's like he just mentions something, but he doesn't explain it. This is what I always see as a reoccurring theme for what? The light side people? What is light? Light is information, yeah? And this is what I always see, unexplanation, to newspeak. Unexplanation, instead of explaining deeply and actually uncovering something and getting to the core of it. Dark people have no core centrism and do not come with light, which is informational. Have I said it slowly enough? And he's always ambiguous. This is what I always see from people who are still very in the dark. And he says, oh, you don't need grounding and stuff for enlightenment, but I'm telling you, it helps a lot. And what has every great man ever, also every sage ever, said and had as a massive undercurrent in all their works, their corpus, their great works? What have they said? They've always referenced nature. Why don't you go read some stuff? Because they're always, almost every single great man I could mention who has given us models of reality, great explanations of reality and so on, has always mentioned nature. Not necessarily grounding, but they've always mentioned nature and copying it, like, looking into nature and so on. So to say that, and in his video he's like, oh, grounding's good, but you don't really need it. And then he says in his video, and we're going to watch it in a minute, that he used to be a child and hate nature. No wonder he's still in such a disconnected state, or an unenlightened state. Because he's disconnected. This is the fall. Demonic energy is fallen energy. I don't know how many times I have to go over this stuff. I hope this video is enough, to be honest. It's starting to annoy me. You can hear that in my tone of voice, I'm sure. But, yeah, he even says, he used to put down a blanket when he was a child. He used to not like sitting on the grass and blah, blah, blah. That's disconnection, and this is what we're trying to heal. People like me are trying to heal this disconnection so that the earth, the larger you, which is giving your light body and ensuing and instilling your light body, can connect to you. Like Rumi, the great poet, said, what you are looking for is also looking for you. What do you think he was talking about? Because the earth has it's our overmind. It has a light body it thrusts into you. Now, we're not going to talk about the light body because it's multidimensional and very complex, but it's enough to say that it's basically the earth coming through you when you become a soul vector human and light body capable and integrated with your light body, and it basically feels like it smashes into you. Hence, it's coming from somewhere. I'd say it's the earth because you're standing on it and you can feel it yourself anyway. So I'm not even guessing, you can feel this stuff. So enlightenment is enter light into your mental. Enter enlightenment. Okay? So it's not like you have to be airy-fairy, you don't have to be, just using crystals and stuff, because I know he mentions that there, and I'm like that too. I realise that you don't need to just use those things and then you can call yourself, like enlightened or something. But getting in nature, whoa, if you don't do that, well, you're going to end up like him. Deranged, demonic, and not being able to even explain stuff because that's the darkness. You can't even, it ambiguates. Haven't you noticed that common theme from all people who are like very dark slanted. They can't even explain things because light is information, that's why. So, ConsciousZine.com Chronicles. So, remember how we've all learnt that, occult people, again to mention the secret societies, those type of people, dark people, they always don't just ambiguate, they also do what? That's right, they mix a lot of mixing, half-truths. And he even says it in this video, so it's like full court. I'm so happy he made this video, because it's just like he's loaded the gun himself for me. So I'm very happy about that, your moronic stupidity, thanks for doing the work for me. You're gonna see that. What do they do? Let's get past your dissonance again, because I mentioned his name in a negative way. I'm sure that'll dissonate a lot of you. What does he do again? Half-truths. Watch. He even says half. Half-truths. He even says half. Okay, you ready? Good. So anyway, before we get into that part, remember what I just said. The Enlightenment and nature part. He said he's only been meditating... Oop, pardon me. Just burped. He said he's... I'm just eating. He said he's only been meditating this year, 2018 he started. And, he wants to act all enlightened. And apart from what we've already mentioned, the obvious, is it not also obvious that people who don't meditate as much, don't you see them less in peak performance? What have I said about high beta brainwave and demons in my video Organic Portals and Brainwaves? Have you watched that? Maybe you should actually watch my videos, because I see the low view counts. Or the ignorance, because I'm actually uncovering. So meditation, puts you into gamma state if you actually research, like I actually research and stuff, yeah. So meditation puts you into gamma, and that's peak performance, they call that. You should look into all these studies they're doing now on the Buddhist meditators. It's very interesting what they're discovering about the human brain and meditation. So I don't even have to go deeper into it than that, because you've got the internet and Google. So you can look into it. It's enough for me to mention it. But yeah, gamma. And so, I mean, if I say I can see beta, high range beta on this guy. You're going to say explain, and I can't be explained. I can just see it. Once you learn it, all the different brainwaves and what it looks like on someone, then I'm sure that you're also going to be able to see what I see. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm tired of just talking. I just want to laugh a bit. Do we even have inbox ability on YouTube anymore? How come I can't inbox anyone? That's interesting. Someone sent you an inbox message, did they? Oh, and look, I say that because it looks to me like half of his videos of recent are not just bucking that quartz crystal lady, but now he's trying to have a secret go at me. And it'd be very hard for you to see this, but I can see this in some of his video titles alone, and then what he's saying in some of his videos. I started to realise that I think he's just trying to use my work and to antithesize it. So, if I make a video 3 on this, I'll talk more about that. Oh, if they're the rules within the game, you deranged demon, how come you're not doing it then? You need to go. Yeah, not really. Not necessarily to where you need to go, but yeah, I guess because you know, anionization will help you go inside yourself. So maybe you should start grounding. You know, acting like he knows about grounding when he's never mentioned it before. Clearly mentioning it because I'm the only organic portal relative channel mentioning grounding, and he's trying to buck me. I keep telling you, look at his video titles and the work I've done in the last few months. You'll start to see it. Who is they? Despised nature. Every great man ever mentions nature. Look at Terence McKenna's work. Thinks nature is disgusting. Like, do you guys listen when you listen? Or do you just, like, are you hypnotized by the bull energy? Because I keep telling you, Baphomet energy is a hypnosis energy. And it creates cognitive dissonance. So you guys even listen when you listen to his videos, or... Super mature, wearing a Raiders t-shirt. Like sport's not some kind of distraction. Yeah, righto. Super mature.
To obtain a certain goal, whatever that is. So I do utilize it. I go out in nature, but
As if.
I utilize it for the purpose of beating this game that we're in, and escaping it. Because you guys need to realize you're down here. This is a game, and you need to beat the game. And to beat the game, you gotta have an open heart chakra. That's one of the prerequisites to beating this game, to getting to the next level. Not only that, you gotta know yourself, know who you are. So that created all this shit.
Yeah, consciousness is the light itself, yes.
It even goes deeper than that, but for this game, you just need to know on a certain level, because it gets so you really can't figure out, because you're more than just an observer. You're not just consciousness or observing. You're more than that. But you gotta figure out who's observing, who's conscious. So you gotta become conscious, and consciousness is just a certain level of knowing who you are. It gets infinitely deep.
Okay, so tell me about where else we go from there then. I'm waiting. half truth. Half? Oh god, like, you guys listen, right? Like, you have ears and stuff? Do you have ears? Do you listen past your cognitive dissonance emanating from your brain? Yeah, but no.
Eating healthy, nature.
Well, I'll tell you what, 80,000 toxins since World War One. You probably want to eat some herbs to get some of those 80,000 toxins out of you, you know? Yeah, I've got the problem. Yeah, I'm a demon. I'm full on demon. Look, why do you think he's talking about the herb deception video? Because I do what? I do food plant teaching videos. I'm telling you, you're going to start to see these crossovers between my videos if you look at his video titles alone, let alone what he's saying. See, now he's trying to get you to think that I'm the demon, because the hornbull energy is now starting to come through him.
Right objectives that this game has set forth for you to beat it. That's all you're doing this shit. That's all you're doing anything for.
Well, that was confusing. Very, very confusing. Super enlightening, though. I'm gonna like and subscribe, because I'm in a hypnosis right now.
You may not like the game. I hate this one. It's not a game. You're here. So that's what you got to get out of it. You really don't like it. It's your hatred of it. Get the fuck out of it. That's what I'm saying. All that stuff that they say is spiritual, you don't even need to do all that shit to become enlightened. Meditation, crystals, all that stuff that they say is spiritual, you don't even need to do all that shit to become enlightened and be conscious.
Yeah, right, you don't need to meditate, but he started meditating this year. Contradictory. Just saying. Didn't start meditating till the beginning of 2008. Doesn't think you need meditation, but started meditating. Makes a lot of sense, this guy. Yeah, he's like someone to follow because he makes a lot of sense.
Because like I said,
That's because you're under so much demonic egoic energy. And the ego, just like when you take psychedelics, gets scared because it knows its demise is close. So yeah, meditation takes you further within your higher self and less of your ego. And that's why you didn't want to do it. It's just like when I go to take a mushroom. I still don't want to take a magic mushroom. But I know I have to, because it enlightens the crap out of me. Literally, the poo comes out of me, and the crappiness of my ego and so on comes out of me. And that's why before I take a psychedelic trip, I still get scared, because that's the ego getting scared. Now, you know, you've got to not identify with that, though. But yeah, that's just to explain that fully.
going within.
Oh, there you go, he even said it, so I didn't even have to just explain it to you, he said it for himself. He had a lot of blockages, and I just told you what they are.
that circumstance. So you don't need to do all that shit to get to that level of.
Don't need to do it, but he's doing it anyway.
Back then, I didn't do it because, like I said, of my own issues that I was going through. But I'm just telling you guys, you don't need to do any of that shit because a lot of the people I see that do meditation, that do crystals, they're really not that any more conscious than when I see another person that may be doing crystals and stuff. But you can tell that it's not the meditation, the crystal that giving them enlightenment. It's that deep inner work that they're doing. You can tap into through meditations.
Yeah, meditation is deep inner work. Yep, that's what I just mentioned, the scaredness of the ego.
Because there's
Wait, we'll just rewind it because you guys can't listen. You don't know how to hear things. When you tap into that dark energy.
reality. Once you go into those realms, it's scary, it's bad, whatever. Based upon the programming. Makes you potent, powerful.
Yeah, there's something to say about facing your demons, if that's what he means.